appreciate that and support. Good service, it impacts everybody.
So true.
Yeah, we can all definitely benefit from a reminder every now and then to keep ourselves sharp.
Right. Well, for those who don't know, that the well-established PRIDE, it is an acronym, right? PRIDE.
Correct.
All right.
Stands for personal responsibility in delivering
excellence. Yeah. And I like that first part, personal responsibility, because as you were just alluding to, good service, whether it's you just standing there as part of that, 40-year sort of individual who has now decided, I'm going to hand over the reins of this organization to the next person. You've been there all along and you've worked for the last, I want to use 40 years as an example, starting as a 25-year-old, and now you're 65 and you decide I want to engage in the next best chapter of my life. You can still be responsible, for your own sort of actions, but the way you interact and engage going forward, right?
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm told you have some tourism-related e-learning webinars coming up. So, would you share with us?
Definitely, and we're really excited about these opportunities that we have available starting on April 28th. In the light of everything that's been going on, we were challenged to come up with ways to still, get learning out there, give some hope, help people prepare for the next chapter before it comes so we can...
Okay, I just lost Miss Carl there, Miss Susan. Miss Carl? Okay, are you there, Mom?
I am.
Okay,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Apologize. 1 quick second, and I lost you. So, but you were sharing the two webinars coming up. So go ahead. We do have you back now.
Okay, so I'm not sure where I dropped off, but
I think you were bringing me lunch, is what I heard last. No, just kidding. No,
yeah, I was hoping that you were going to bring me stuff.
I would, but apparently, we can't interact anymore for a while. Anyway. All right, so
thank God for technology, and technology is actually at the root of what we're about to offer.
Mm-hmm.
What we're doing is we're converting all of our classroom trainings to webinars and compressing them from full-day sessions to 40-minute sessions. We know people have a lot going on, and it's challenging to balance all the balls that you may have in the air, especially for parents and those who continue to work. So we wanted to make this as convenient as possible and deliver this straight into your home. And what we've done, we have 2 that are ready to go. We've got Promises, which is our well-established customer service training, and we've converted that down into a webinar, like I said. And that one focuses on, when we were redeveloping, we kind of started from scratch, but with the end in mind, trying to get everything to match, but in a fresh way. So in this version, what we're looking at is what are the 3 most influential aspects that customer service providers can focus their efforts in to create loyal customers for the destination. And what's really important in understanding that, the key part of that is loyalty.
Right.
We want loyal customers, and a lot of people mistake repeat business for loyalty, and we want to make sure that people understand that there's a difference. And so we need to do everything that we can within our power to create loyalty versus repeat business.
There you go. Now, Ms. Carl, I believe we may be fortunate enough to have Ms. Rosa Harris, the director, online as well. Is that what yeah, see,
Dale Henry, my deputy.
Okay. So, see that? Hey, listen, with the telephone lines, I can only see it through walls, not through. No, just kidding. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't paying attention to Miss Susan. Yeah, we do have your colleague. So let's go to the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I do apologize. I misunderstood Miss Susan's cue. I was more concentrating on, that dish of, what was it we're getting today? Lima beans with oxtail? I don't know. With some gravy and some raisin beans? Oh, it sounds good. If I can get in a Johnny cake, then I'll have to be stuck with the lima beans. All right, but thanks for sharing. Hopefully people laugh and say, boy, at the very least I laughed at him, and maybe they feel a little better today. But thank you for joining Ms. Carl.
Thanks.
All right. So you were sharing with us, Ms. Hannah, the notion as you hopefully were able to hear what your colleague was sharing earlier. So with these webinars, please jump right in and let us benefit equally from your contribution.
Oh, unfortunately I was trying to get onto the other connection, and so I missed most of what she said. But I know that Carol was speaking to the importance of these programs. These are programs that could give the businesses and persons, employees, an edge, a competitive edge, especially something that we feel that is needed in this current and foreseeable environment that we're in. So we've been conducting Pride training program for many, many years now. And this was a great opportunity for us to move to the next level in terms of being able to provide those same opportunities for persons to be able to do this online, right? Right now, we're also reliant on technology for communication and so on. And, the timing was just perfect for us to move to this other level of being able to connect that way with persons, because we can't do it in that, the normal workshop in, person-to-person format right now.
And as I listen to you, we understand that technology is being leveraged heavily across the spectrum, globally, but even here. And for some, the obvious concern as well, is there sufficient penetration within the community for people to access? And then if everybody's online all the time, they'll have some, but is the network capable of supporting? Is the bandwidth there? Are our lines able to take all this data, video, the text, the images, and the like? For those, with that in mind, for those who want to be a part of the webinars, I know you shared that they're free. I just want to confirm that that's still the case.
Yes, they are.
Okay, so 2 questions. How do they sort of sign up? And secondly, when they do sign up, what sort of equipment do they need? Can they do it from their smartphone? Do they need a tablet? Do they all assemble? Tell us what those 2 things require.
Okay, so in order to sign up, once you go to our website, which is pride.ourcayman.ky, and once you go there, the landing page will direct you to either signing up for Promises or Founded, which is the other webinar that I'll tell you about in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
From there, you just give your details, and it gives you a confirmation email on your end, and it lets us know that you have registered. We are limiting it to 20 persons per class, because that way we get to answer some questions for you, and if we can control, the level of interaction that we have better, make it a bit more personal in that way. And once the workshop's complete, you get a certificate, just like with our in-class versions of these trainings. All the classes that we'll be hosting, the dates are up from April 28th all the way through August. They'll be hosted on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. And best way to connect, I would say, is through your computer. We haven't tested through smartphones, but we can certainly do that. And these are usually capable of connecting. This platform is usually capable of connecting with any smart device. We're using a platform known as GoToMeeting. Most people are familiar with Zoom, and it works very similarly.
Mm-hmm. And then, with that, as you said, it was a 40-minute sort of presentation. And is it more and you want to make it more personal, it's interactive, so those listeners and participants, will they be able to engage, or is it more sort of watch and learn?
It's a little bit of a combination, predominantly because we're taking a full-day workshop down to 40 minutes. It's a challenge. We don't want to keep people, glued to their computer. We've done our research. We've seen that best practices indicate that 40 minutes is that sweet spot. And we recognize that even if it wasn't in these times, people have a lot of other demands on their time, more so than usual. We want to keep it at that sweet spot. So we present for about that 40 minutes, and then we have about 10 to 15 minutes afterwards where the participants can ask their questions, anything that we're not able to cover through that, we do provide an email address that we can follow up after the fact and make sure that you feel comfortable with the information that we've gone through for the day.
Okay, and as I invite Ms. Henry to share equally, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the past you had some manipulatives that you would use during the presentations and the workshops. I know, as you shared, they're usually all day. In this instance now, as the people are from the comfort and convenience of wherever they decided to assemble, to whether in their living room or maybe they ventured out and they feel out of interest, going to sit on the back porch now to be a part of these webinars. Do they need to have anything with them to participate, or just good internet connection and be able to log on and participate? Do they need anything, pen and paper? Do they need to wear a hat?
Recommend. Well, if they're sitting outside in this good old Cayman sun, I would advise a nice big tall glass of water or lemonade and a hat for sure.
There you go.
But I would say, however you feel comfortable taking notes, whether you want to take it on your smart device or computer, or if you're old school like me and you like to do pen and paper, that's fine. But just it's really dependent on how you learn. Some people learn best by listening. Some people learn best by asking questions, and some people learn best by writing it down in some way or some shape or form. So whatever helps you retain the information is what we would recommend at that point. We do plan on recording the webinars, so you do have the chance to go back and listen if you felt like you wanted to, you're like, oh, I forgot what that part was. So you do have the opportunity to go back, and as always, we would still be available through the email address provided, that if you had further questions, we could always answer them after the fact.
All right. Ms. Henry?
Yes?
If you want to jump in at any point, we're not, just want to make sure publicly that we recognize you, we're not ignoring you. Now, with these, though, as you facilitate these workshops, I think people, as you shared, I think it's what pride.rkman.ky is where you go and sign up in order to get it. And as people are looking, hopefully, expectantly, hopefully, they're very positive. They say, down the road, life will come out on the other end of this thing even better, But laying the fun work now, we're preparing, we're planning, and it's that preparation that helps us. What would you say, Ms. Henry, to that individual now who is saying, especially if they were in the hospitality sector, heavily dependent on the tourism sort of revenue stream to pay their bills and the like, who may be going, wow, I don't know, man, it's just too much. Any encouraging words that you could share with that person and say, take this course, man. This just remind you of why you were in this and why you should remain.
Well, from our perspective, we, appreciate all the challenges that, our sector and other sectors as well is, and the general population is going through right now. But, it is a good time for persons who are within the industry or other sectors, as I said, who want to participate in these training opportunities, to do so, because even ourselves, like as government staff working, we're actively trying to make sure that we keep our skills upgraded even at this very challenging time. So there will be we don't believe that we will be in this position forever. There is going to be some sort of silver lining, maybe in a different form. Tourism is going to come back, and we're in the process of preparing for that. So I think everybody who wants to continue or to enter and become a part of this industry should take advantage of these opportunities right now. It's a great time to do that, and it's also a way to take your mind off of other things. I know myself, I'm pursuing my own developmental opportunities as well, as a means to to take my mind off of the other stresses that you may be feeling in the environment.
Yeah.
So, that's my encouragement. I mean, I can share with you that for the longest while, I've been trying to become fluent in Spanish, and every day I'm trying to do that as well, on top of doing everything, in terms of getting my work done from at home.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I see this as a great chance to focus on those other things that you want to do as well.
Why don't we do this? Because I want to improve my language skills as well. So why don't we do this now? Put it on the table. Miss Carl can be our facilitator. We can have a e-learning group. Right, Miss Carl? And the three of us can start, and we can invite people, and we can, who knows, I can go beyond saying una porque de cerveza mañana para usted venga aquí a la casa. I can actually speak Spanish and make sense. How about that? ¿Por qué no? ¿Sí? No, but you're right, man. This is the time, I think, where we can, because we've always been concerned about not having sufficient time. Now, I know equally that Ms. Susan has shared we have a break, but do you guys have a few extra minutes that when we come back, we can continue our discussion and you can remind people how to sign up and the like? Would that be fine?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll do that. We'll pause, take a short break, and wrap it up at 1:30, have some open line until 2, and then hit the press briefing. Hey, that's the plan for today, so stay tuned.
Vamped Motors encourages everyone to stay home in compliance with our government's directives, which are absolutely critical to protect our islands from the coronavirus. In light of this, Vamped Motors will be closed until our Cayman Islands government gives us the all clear to return to work. Please, everyone, be safe and let's get through this together by staying apart.
Lee's Office Products is available for purchasing stationery supplies, but limited to deliveries only. To order your stationery supplies, please call 949-2303 or email salesleesofficeproducts@candw.ky. That's salesleesofficeproducts@candw.ky. Hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Make working or studying from home stress-free. Call or email Lee's Office Products. Stay home, K-Man. Stay safe.
Preventing dengue is as simple as preventing mosquito bites. Use a mosquito repellent, wear protective clothing, and stay indoors during early dawn and dusk when mosquitoes are most active. Control the places around you where mosquitoes breed. Remove stagnant water in outdoor and household settings. As a weekly habit, persons should change the water in vases, clear the water in saucers under potted plants, and ensure air conditioner drip trays are free of stagnant water. Outdoor objects capable of holding water should be kept empty and preferably disposed of or put into dry storage if not used. These include open bottles and tins, watering cans, buckets, empty paint tins, and old vehicle tires. Do your part to control the spread of dengue. The dengue virus is an infectious disease transmitted through mosquito bites. Symptoms may come on as early as 4 days or as late as 3 weeks following an infection. There is no vaccine or specific medication to treat dengue. Symptoms of dengue include high fever, headache, pain behind the eyes, joint and muscle pain, and rash. If persons have any of these symptoms, they should go to the nearest health center or hospital. It is advised to drink lots of liquids and avoid medication that contains aspirin.
Hello, K-Man. I'm Quincy Brown. Anybody else getting mixed up with all these new coronavirus terms? Me too. But guess what? I've watched the press conferences and I've read the press releases and I've seen all the social media posts. Look here, I can help you out. Essential staff, police officers, immigration, customs, doctors, nurses, first responders, they are essential staff. So if you got to ask, then you ain't. Una got it now? If Una want to stay up to the time with what's going on, there's only one place for the real information, the Cayman Islands government. Visit gov.ky/coronavirus. Now remember, keep washing your hands, keep following the rules, and keep taking care of each other. Saving lives is Caymankind.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Social distancing. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. And our good friends over at the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism, Gail Henry and Ms. Carla Britton, our guests. Thank you all very much, not just for joining us, but for the untiring efforts, to continue to not just promote our country, but the training that you've given to many, of our members within the sector. So thanks very much, huh?
It's our pleasure. And before we wrap up, we wanted to touch on another program that we're also rolling out in our online webinar series, and it's called Founded. And what it is basically is a program that could help to enhance business acumen for, particularly tourism-related businesses. So I would let Carol speak a little bit more to that.
With Founded, we want to help people who either are, very excited and passionate about entering the market as a smaller micro business in the tourism industry, or perhaps if you're already there and you're looking for ways to expand your offerings. This seminar is perfect for you, this webinar. And what we want to do is teach you what aspects go into creating and maintaining a healthy business. We show you specifically the two main functions of a business and the 5 things that drive that. And we also show you how the Department of Tourism can play a role in helping. I think there's a lot of help out there that people don't really realize is there that they can take advantage of. Oftentimes they're there for very little or no cost. And that is always something that I believe is top of mind for those who are operating smaller micro businesses. And so we just want to show you how you can take advantage of that, particularly with us here at the Department of Tourism. And again, it's a 40-minute webinar, so your time is valuable. We remain committed to giving you the best information in the most convenient ways. And we certainly hope that anybody who's considering joining or expanding their business, that they would join us for one of our webinars.
And the fact that you're putting it together, they're very, very effective. You're making it free. It's accessible. I hope that they will indeed take the opportunity. You guys are great presenters. I've heard from a number of people firsthand who were a bit initially, I could spend the whole day. They were worried, but they came away going, "Can I do that again? Can I do that again?" Especially when you had the manipulatives, the little things. So, see, I remember people are enjoying it, and these are the taxi and tour operators in particular, I think, who've done the prior training. So, kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may, though, if it's, I think it would be remiss of me just to say thanks. We know some of us either, when we ourselves are overseas and we get to see a little glimpse of Cayman on a video. It reminds us, and for some of us who may send it to our friends who are stuck in places where it's a little bit cold, a little frigid, at that time they may feel a little bit despondent because of the weather. They see an image of Cayman. Well, that does. But it's a video that I have seen.
Yeah.
And the wonderful voice of, Miss Rita Estevanovich, and all the wonderful imagery of Cayman. That has inspired me, just living here, being mindful that one day I'll get back out in the North Sound, I'll be able to walk on the beach. So thank you all for producing that. We've sent it to friends across the globe, and it's been special now that they're all locked in like, convicts in solitary. It's been a wonderful way to see it. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, imagery. So thank you all very much for producing that.
Thank you very much. It was our pleasure to do that. Just to remind persons about, the Cayman kind spirit. It's still alive, and we would like to welcome, everybody back to our shores. And we're waiting and very, we just can't wait to welcome people back to our shores. And it's an opportunity for us as residents here to really appreciate, the true beauty of what we have right around us right now.
Right. And I'll be guided by you. I was just thinking, based on a comment we got from, you talked earlier about loyalty being distinct from sort of repeat business. And there are some of our people who come here often, for generations now, sort of, they've come, now they've come back with their children, now they'll come back with their grandchildren. And we can't travel like how we would like. And I sent, the video to one of them, and they said, you remind us of when we used to come here in the 80s or the 70s. And so maybe if we live here, we understand the importance of preserving our environment, the bit, the physical, but also that thing that has made us what we are, the hospitable, loving, caring, nurturing, welcoming feel that people have, so that they feel safe, but they also feel welcome. And as we see the empty beaches and we see the beautiful waters, that we realize it all goes hand in hand. Huh?
It surely does.
Well, I think that especially these two, new, well, no, I wouldn't say new, these two offerings that you're giving the founders and the promises would be opportune and timely for the sector, whether you want to get in or whether you want to be reminded of why you were there to now do it. So in closing, how again do we sign up for it, for those who want to do it, and when do they start, and how much does it cost? I mean, just a quick review of being able to access the two programs.
Well, to take advantage of these two free webinars, join us on pride.ourcayman.ky, that's OUR, our, cayman.ky, and click the link that you'll see to register. We'll send you an email with the link to join us on GoToMeeting. They will be on either a Tuesday or a Thursday at 11 a.m. for roughly about 40 minutes. They're going to be short, spicy, exciting, and we can't wait to have you join us.
Well, I'm hopeful that after, perhaps in a few weeks' time, if you want just even a quick phone call to say, listen, the meetings are still there, give us a reminder, or people have participated, and, you've got to tell us, wow, we now need to put on 4 more to accommodate people. So give us a heads up, all right?
Certainly.
All right. Well, thank you all. Continue to be safe, enjoy it, and, be mindful that many of us not only recognize what you're doing, but are very grateful for what you are doing in relation to training, but also promoting, the people and the country. All right.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Always a pleasure. Well, have a wonderful rest of your afternoon and the week. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, that was the wonderful company of Miss Carla Britton and our colleague Miss Gail Henry from the Department of Tourism. So if you want to be a part of their, upcoming training, pride.ourcayman, .ky, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 a.m., free webinars, 40 minutes, thereabouts. So a good internet connection will get you there. We're going to pause now and take a short break. When we return, there is some open line. We'll get Miss Susan to weigh in and give us some thoughts. I mean, who knows? You'll get the camera back perspective. No, just kidding. I'm going to, one of these days, have our co-hosts in here, We'll just wait and see. And then, of course, the press briefings at 2. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Stay home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app. The future of mobile, saving lives today.
Start getting your debt under control with a debt consolidation loan from Fidelity Bank. At Fidelity, your loan decision is quick with no runaround. Plus, with competitive interest rates and fees, we will help you reduce your monthly payments and get you back to living again. Don't let the burden of overwhelming debt tie you down this year. Call Fidelity today and let's make it happen with a Fidelity Bank debt consolidation loan. Fidelity, we're good for you.
For nearly 20 years, Kingsport Center has been the heart of the Cayman fitness and wellness community. In order to ensure the welfare of all, we are temporarily closed until further notified by the Cayman Islands government that it is safe to reopen. During these trying times, we encourage everyone to maintain a healthy lifestyle, mind, body, and soul. We look forward to continuing providing you with world-class service in the very near future. Remain strong and continue to show the world the power of Cayman unity. Kingsport Center, your one-stop shop for fitness, recreation, and relaxation.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news. Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
This is a public service announcement from your Radio Cayman, your community radio station. Here are some coronavirus prevention tips.
Home isolation means staying indoors and completely avoiding contact with other people. You need to do this if you have symptoms of COVID-19. If you are practicing home isolation, you should stay in a well-ventilated room with a window to outside that can be opened separate from other people in your home. Keep the door closed and use a separate bathroom from the rest of the household, if available. If you have to share these facilities, regular sterilization will be required. Consider drawing up a bathroom schedule for washing or bathing and have the isolated person using the facilities last.
For the latest updates and information, please visit hsa.ky/public-health/coronavirus or gov.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us. It is open line, and we'll continue until the press briefing starts in a couple of, well, who knows, maybe a couple minutes after 2. Well, let's go to the phone. So, good afternoon and welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sir. How are you today?
I am grateful, and I'm grateful to hear your voice, and I'm happy to see you sitting in the seat that you do.
Well, thank you very much, and I am very grateful to be here, but I can tell you, as much as people embrace the technology, I'd rather have the purity of radio than have to be worried about the video that comes with it. But you see, times are changing.
And we work with what we have until we can get what we want.
But election isn't a year away. Oh, that's not what you're talking about. Sorry.
I would like to use the media to thank Radio Cayman for being an indispensable partner in our daily commune and in our journey
yes, sir.
As a country. The Cayman Islands Blood Bank, or National Blood Bank, is embarking on a journey to enable our donors to experience the convenience of an auxiliary site off campus. We have worked along with the Cayman Islands Red Cross, who have loaned us their upper room, which is the second story, the Red Cross building across from the cricket field, to enable us to open a blood donor site there at least once per week. Our first site opportunity will be on Friday between the hours of 10 to 3 p.m. You will be encouraged to give the blood bank a call and just come right along for that first day on Friday. If you're not one of the named persons who have the privilege to travel for curfew, we'd like for you to call the blood bank at 244-2674 and speak to the director, the manager of the blood bank, is Judith Clark, and she will then facilitate you with the proper documentation to enable you to travel unobstructed.
So this would be on Fridays at the Red Cross on Huddle Avenue across from the old agricultural grounds?
Yes, at the agricultural ground. Yes.
Right. So Fridays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And we are grateful for not only the Red Cross, we're grateful to Car City, who has been a partner in enabling us to have one of our first off-site blood donor opportunities, and who also spearheaded the possibility of us getting a unit that would give us efficiency in moving equipment, which we utilized this morning, a Suzuki van. We're also grateful to Generali Health Insurance, who has optimized the website, optimized our enrollment process, and optimized a number of efficiencies to take us a little closer to the 21st century. And the Cayman Blood Donor Service is grateful to each and every blood donor who has made it possible for us to be able to save lives. We are so grateful to the public for responding 2 weeks ago when we expressed a desire to replenish our dwindling stocks when we're still unable to be able to import blood because everybody is trying to hold on to their precious resource. We are realizing that we do have our resource here, and we just need to be able to have people happier to come to visit us. There are concerns. People do not want to come to the hospital, rightfully so, because they are not ill. And considering the present circumstances, in spite of the fact that our blood bank and our hospital, they are committed to best practice and infection control, and you have a seamless process in going to deliver there. However, you can come on Friday, this Friday between 10 and 3. We are going to be arranging from here until we get a signal otherwise for every Thursday for it to be a blood donor day at the Red Cross building. Okay.
Well, let's ask two things. I know one was asked at the press briefing, so we just maybe want either further sort of information on it. But with respect to blood donors, you're looking for established as well as new blood donors on Friday?
Yes, established and new blood donors, yes.
Okay. And the process now, will they still be required to go through some sort of...
They're going to be asked to fill out a form. The form has been abbreviated, and they're going to be given a little mini physical, which is an advantage to them because it enables them to get a little bit of clue as to their current state of health, and if there are any flashpoints or trigger points, you're going to be alerted, and you can act on them right away. And that is a little bit of privilege that goes along with giving.
Right. Now, for those who are familiar with the blood donor service, normally you go to the HSA, you go up the stairs and you bounce to the second floor, and then you go in there and you do the form, and they draw your blood to do the test, and they put it through a little machine and it spins it around and does different things. Will all that transpire in this time? Or
all of that is supposed to be transpiring there. Okay. And we are saying that all of that will transpire with this remarkable understanding that our laboratory, which has been doing a remarkable job managing its normal flow of work, and then now with the current international health crises of which we are very much a part of, they are being oversubscribed with work, and that is putting it very mildly, in that they're working 24 hours to not only do their normal duty and then do the duty of a blood bank, but also committed to the testings that are being required now to help us to resolve our COVID-19 challenges.
Okay.
And they're fulfilling those obligations all along with that. And now to have this off-site facility, which will be able to take blood, is remarkable because we really don't have the staff to allocate.
And the other thing that we wanted to sort of clarify, for any individual that may have already tested positive, I know it was asked at the press briefings, are you in a position to offer up an answer and explanation? Would an individual who may have been a blood donor in the past or would be considering being a blood donor now, if that person had a positive test, and would that person be allowed to give blood now?
I am not able to give an affirmative to that. It is my inclination to think, according to my experience, that if you have been ill with certain illnesses, you would be excluded, or you'd be excluded for a time. I am not able to affirm that you would not be able to donate, period. But I know that if you have been recently ill and COVID is new, you would not be able to give because you are not considered recovered enough.
Right. And the thing I should be evident to us all is that in this time, getting supplies to the country can be challenging. Getting blood to the country could be even more so. But it certainly is an expensive endeavor in and of itself under normal circumstances. So having an adequate blood supply for our own needs, hopefully,
is important.
Yeah, hopefully we'll share on board.
And we have had past experiences during 1999 when we first commenced our Cayman Blood Donor Service, which is an NGO that works with our blood bank. We were shocked to see that for want of a better term, on the blood stock exchange, where we'd have to go to market to purchase blood on the open market. At one time, it was $1,500 per pint. Now, we know that when blood is needed, nothing else will do. And that price tag, irrespective of how high it is not so high that we should not go to the limit, because 3 lives are at stake and 3 lives can be saved.
Right.
So I'm just saying that if you're putting it in quantifying terms, it can go up to $1,500 per pint. And we have been working assiduously since then, vigorously to make sure that we can do our we have our donor supply group that enables us a proficiency that we don't have to reach out.
Well, I think many of us hopefully can recall one of those early PSAs they used to hear on Radio Cayman. Life you save may be your own.
It may be your own.
I recall that vividly, like I heard it just seconds ago. So it has left an impression with me. But if I could ask them a couple of things, just for, again, maybe to encourage others, they always want to know how can it be of value and service. If it's not all of it as to others, I am certainly a proponent for being a blood donor and the like. A couple of quick questions. An individual who is donating blood, are they giving like 50 gallons, a drum, oil? Are they giving like an ounce?
We work within the best practice requirement of the World Health Organization, Pan American Health, which is 1 pint. And once we take your pint, you will be left undisturbed for at least 8 weeks.
Right. And women a little bit longer than men and the like. And then secondly, for blood donors, I guess knowing your blood type is important. Are there particular considerations other than when there's an appeal for a particular blood? Share with us.
Generally speaking, because blood is a remarkable compartmentalized product, except in circumstances where we have a demand for a blood group that is rare, we will take anything we can get, because the blood is then compartmentalized to plasma and then broken down, and there are certain parts of the blood which have a shelf life that is shorter than others and utilized for specific needs. So every part of your blood is a value to the healthcare facility in terms of application.
All right, so our final question, just for clarity, there is the blood bank and then there's the NGO, the blood donor service. What's the difference? How are they connected?
Blood bank is the blood bank, National Blood Bank. The NGO, Cayman Blood Donor Service, is a voice that goes out to ask. It is committed to education, circulation, and it is committed to raising funds to enable the bank to realize certain objectives that they can't otherwise be be distracted with. For example, equipment. We received compliments of Car City, a Suzuki van, which is able to carry equipment around and enable us to mobilize a little quicker than we were before. And that is a result of engaging with the Cayman Blood Donor Service and its activities. We are also involved in being an instant voice, coming to radio stations, speaking to Radio Cayman, asking you to allow us to have a program to concentrate on World Blood Donor Day, or to speak with our young people. For example, James Miles's group, YouthLex. I remember once we were able to connect with a Pan American World Health Organization activity in Washington, D.C. via cell phone with YouthLex, and we were able to speak with our then Premier, who was the Honorable Mr. Kurtzowitz, and it was as a result of Cayman Blood Donor Service as an NGO working with our blood bank. Blood bank is there to do the hard work.
Right.
It is one of the most important parts of our hospital system, and work for the laboratory that is the only JCI
in the region.
Joint Commission internationally approved blood banks in the Caribbean.
Yep. It's accredited, man. All right, well, Mr. Brown, thank you very much for that. So this Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Red Cross on the second floor?
Yes. Red Cross on the second floor.
Keep us posted, man. All right?
Thank you very much for having us.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, the blood you give, is priceless. All right, Miss Susan, my apologies. We're going to short break. We're going to come back. Some more open line here on Talk Today.
Hi, I'm remodeling our bathroom. I have a few questions.
Sure.
What are some ideas to make my bathroom feel larger? How do I know if I'm picking the right vanity? How do I choose a new toilet or a new countertop? Also, the lighting is terrible. Can I put a window or a skylight? And do I really need an exhaust fan?
You've come to the right place. At Brand Source, we custom design kitchen and baths, and our talented design team can help answer your questions. Whether you're looking for a modern, functional family bathroom or a luxurious personal retreat, we'll help create that beautiful space that makes your home yours. And if you're in a rush for a new look and have a limited budget, our ready-to-install bathroom vanities, built with solid wood and countertops of the finest materials, are a quick and easy remodeling solution.
For the very best in custom-designed kitchens and baths, visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, Cayman's Kitchen and Bath Center.
Digicel is all about giving customers more convenience, more peace of mind, and more flexibility. Do more with the new My Digicel app. Buy plans, pay your bill, track your credit, check your data, and monitor your accounts. It's easy to use and has everything you need in one place. It's time to simplify your life, so go ahead and see for yourself. Download the new My Digicel app today. More made simple.
Lee's Office Products is available for purchasing stationery supplies, but limited to deliveries only. To order your stationery supplies, please call 949-2303 or email salesleesofficeproducts@candw.ky. That's salesleesofficeproducts@candw.ky. Hours from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Make working or studying from home stress-free. Call or email Lee's Office Products. Stay home, Cayman. Stay safe.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken chair.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken chair.
I am not a chicken.
Whoa! I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
The RCIPS, National Drug Council, and Radio Cayman are reminding you to stay home, refrain from social gatherings, and having parties during soft and hard curfew. Do your part, limit alcohol consumption, or stay sober. Do not undermine your immune system and health by misusing alcohol or any other substance. Remember, we are all in this together. Stay safe, stay home, stay alive, Cayman.
A public service announcement from Radio Cayman. Coronavirus prevention tip. What is coronavirus? The novel coronavirus, COVID-19, is a new strain of coronavirus that has not been previously identified in humans. What are the symptoms? Common symptoms include respiratory symptoms of fever, cough, shortness of breath, breathing difficulties. In severe cases, coronavirus can cause pneumonia, severe acute respiratory syndrome, and kidney failure. How soon do symptoms occur? Symptoms occur 2 to 10 days after a person has been exposed. Is there a vaccine against coronavirus? Currently, there is no vaccine to protect against COVID-19. When a disease is new, it takes up to a few years for a new vaccine to be developed. For information, you can email questions to flu@hsa.ky or call one of the hotline numbers of 1-800-534-8600 or 947-3077. For the latest updates and information, please visit hsa.ky/coronavirus.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing with us. 949-8037. Or toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. It's open line. We'll take your calls and have you give us, things as you see it. Hey, how many places and how many times you have the opportunity to freely share? Now, I know, sadly, even in this time, perhaps even more so in times like these, so many of us are still so afraid. We don't even have the courage of a mouse, nor the faith of a mustard seed. But hey, let's take up the reins and recognize that the mantle has been passed and it's for us to carry on the torch. So let's do our thing and do it well and share your thoughts. Just because you're critical, it doesn't mean you can't be constructive. Just because you're saying things that others may not necessarily agree with or want to hear, doesn't mean that you're right. Certainly doesn't mean that you're wrong. But even though you're saying it, you don't have to say it in a disrespectful or an uncivilized manner. You just got to be able to know that there's a time, a place, and a way to say and to share, and hopefully it'll engender meaningful discourse and dialect so that we can become, much more analytical in our thoughts. What they want to say in our schools to teach our students to become critical thinkers. So as we analyze things and extrapolate, that we're able to look at it not just for the here and the now, but down the road, recognizing that there are many variables to be considered and things will indeed change. But if you at least looking at what is before us, can we do more with what we have? And even if it's many and much, or if it's a little and not enough, we can still make it work. Well, share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Here is something that a few of you, and again, not that many thus far, who've said, okay, so we open back up the local economy and we get things going again. So construction starts, whether it's, commercial or residential. What then? So they employ the people here. But what then? As an example, if I understood exactly what the guy was sharing, and if I repeated exactly as I thought he said, okay, the developers who have, as the Honorable Premier has shared, has the financing, the funds in place, gets back on the road with building the residential, properties that were started and were midstream. Well, are there still people who are prepared to, occupy them? Are the numbers still there? Can they still afford the mortgages? Are they still with incomes and employment in order to do so? What then? And what is the plan going forward? All right, got a couple of interesting thoughts. So we're gonna have the headline news. We have some callers in the queue. I believe the press briefing, as you know, the Legislative Assembly is in session today. They're going to be doing some things in order to get things on the way. Then tomorrow they'll go back and look at a number of the bills that the government have put forward, including the pensions amendment. But that's going to take place, I believe, now at 3. So, hey, we get a little bit extra time for some open line. All right, let's hit our headline news at 2. And when we come back, let's join our callers in the queue. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
For today's biggest news.
Access information.
Local, regional, international. This is headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom team.
Today's biggest news.
Each of Conyers' 6 global offices makes a donation to local charities, helping to support those affected by the COVID-19 crisis. Conyers' Cayman office and staff have partnered to donate $22,000 to local organizations, Feed Our Future and the Cayman Islands Food Bank, with the firm matching staff donations. In international headlines, health officials say 2 people died with the coronavirus in California weeks before the first reported death from the disease. Santa Clara County officials said yesterday the people died at home February 6th and February 17th. Before this, the first U.S. death from the virus had been reported on February 29th in Kirkland, Washington. The medical examiner coroner received confirmation Tuesday that tissue samples sent to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention tested positive for the virus. Tyson Foods suspended operations at an Iowa plant that is critical to the nation's pork supply, but had been blamed for fueling a massive coronavirus outbreak in the community. The company said the indefinite closure of the Waterloo, Iowa plant would deny a vital market to hog farmers and further disrupt the nation's meat supply. More than 70,000 extra troops will be deployed in South Africa to help enforce a lockdown intended to stop the spread of coronavirus. BBC News reports South Africa has had 3,465 confirmed coronavirus cases, second only to Egypt and Africa, and 58 deaths. The country also reportedly has some of the most stringent coronavirus lockdown restrictions in the world, but the BBC says security forces have struggled to enforce them. Those are your headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.
Your 2 p.m. headlines brought to you by greenturtle.ky. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Social distancing is crucial for our community to get back to normal. And never before has communication been so crucial. Keeping in touch with family, friends, and up to date requires you to stay in touch. Green Turtle offers the solution for both. Download the Green Turtle app now. Top up yours or a loved one's phone with any mobile carrier in any destination in Cayman. Phones delivered to your home, and with the new rewards program, you can even redeem points towards a new phone and other products. Download the Green Turtle app today. Green Turtle is not only the future of mobile, but today it can help save a life. Hashtag Stay Home Cayman. Take a ride on the Green Turtle Express today. Download the Green Turtle app, the future of mobile, saving lives today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And I appreciate every opportunity to allow our listeners to directly share their thoughts with all and sender equally. Let's go to our phones. Welcome. Thanks for calling. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Oh, okay. How are you doing?
Oh, excellent. How about yourself?
Something like that. Somewhere between fine and excellent. One of the two.
Well, hope you're fine, and then the media is moving towards excellent.
I got some good news for you, and then I got some bad news for you.
All right, give me the bad news first.
No, I can tell you the good news first. My friend called me and said he got some mangoes for me.
Oy.
And the bad news is now that you can't get any.
You eat them. I knew. Yeah. I tell you what, I'll ask the police commissioner to send a helicopter. Maybe he can rappel down and you can put them in a plastic bag and then he can bring them and drop them for me.
Oh,
much as they fly over.
I know, that's so true.
I tell you, boy, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're thinking about me. How about that? You can send me. At least you're thinking about me. You can send me a picture of you eating and enjoying the mangoes.
Right, definitely.
Boy.
The picture can weigh. The picture is mango so big. The picture probably going to weigh like 3 pounds. The picture.
That sounds like the fish that fella say he caught. Boy, it was so big that the picture was even 10 pounds.
Right.
Good that we can laugh and joke, huh?
Exactly. Well, let's get on with some positive stuff.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. As you might have heard that England tomorrow is going to try some new type of vaccines on people, an experiment.
Experiment, huh?
Yeah.
So what people going to become now, guinea pigs?
Well, I don't know if boar pigs or guinea pigs, but I guess they got to try something, And, well, if they're successful with it, I think it'll be quite a recognition and more than appreciation from the wide world,
Well, I guess there is one thing, but oftentimes, actually we should never forget, and especially in these times, what they say, drowning man will grasp at a straw. So vaccines can usually take a long time and should go through proper testing. Are we going to be too eager to allow something that's untried and tested to be quickly implemented across the globe, and who knows what untold consequences, negative consequences it'll have for future generations?
Your point is taken, but nothing tried, nothing accomplished.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained, no? I hear you.
Right, and I guess if we're going to sit down for the balance of the year and just brood about things, I am a person that have a positive outlook on life. Right? And I don't see this thing keeping up like, till next year and just sitting down waiting for 2 o'clock to get the briefing and so on. You got to get on with life. Have to be careful by all means, yes. We have to abide by the laws of what they're telling us to do. But this is not going to keep up too long with all of this. They're going to find something pretty soon. To get something done with this virus, because everybody's down by the nose, the whole world, and if the world is revolving, then we have to keep it up. Okay, seems like everything is at a standstill right now. Good. So I am hoping and praying, and I have confidence that as much as people might have a negative attitude or image about England, I certainly believe in England a lot, and I think they have the ability and the technology to bring something on the front line that will do us all good. We just can't sit down with no disrespect. I'm a great believer also in the great United States, but other countries are doing things very successful as well.
You see, this is I think an opportune time for humanity to show the best of humanity, for the world to unite and to have a unified approach to a number of things. The scientists to be scientists, to stop, as has been alleged for too long, whether it's the universities being heavily funded by whether it's big pharma or other places in order to produce drugs, but to get into research and development instead of marketing and PR, and to look at how we can make people healthy and better. But even us, as regular citizens, working together to be our brother's keeper, to looking out for our neighbors, for being civil and humane and loving and kind. If the reports globally are that, put it loosely, that Earth is breathing again. What was once polluted and clouded waters look clear, and almost accessible, then maybe this is a wake up call for us to realize that everything we do has an impact and an effect on each other, on others, and on our natural and built environment. So maybe less greed and more compassion.
Well said, well said. I think my philosophy is it's always so good to keep on the good side of everybody. Keep on the good side of all countries, everybody. That's a good thing to have. The world is too small to be having animosity and confrontation. Like Trump the other day when he cut off the $500 million off of the WHO, not funding them. Well, if you look at it in perspective, by reason, they're sat down. They're not telling people and coming up front and being ahead of the situation and telling people what's happening.
Right. But as I listen to you too, I think there is something, and maybe it's just the way that I think, but on a simple scale, you want your parents as a child to be honest with you, to be reputable, to be credible, to be competent, to be ethical, to be honorable in your household. So when they say things to you, you can put trust and confidence in that. I think that should not be a naive thing that you would want as a child from your parents. As a parent, you would want your child's classroom teacher to be likewise, so that the stuff that the teacher is telling the child in the class is factual, that is uplifting and nurturing. So if then as a world we would require of our political leadership to do likewise, I still have to ask then, to what extent is the media, the fourth estate, doing its job to be very constructively critical and asking appropriate questions globally of its political leadership, demanding that the things that are reported are accurate and timely. For instance, watching the BBC just the other evening, one of the professors at one of the UK universities just making a comment relative to how I would term it, public policy and journalism, and saying, is it possible then, because of the environment in which the journalists are operating, in that they're now not physically present to face the ministers in government or whomever, that maybe follow-up questions aren't as easy? They have to make that adjustment. Is the media sufficiently informed, sufficiently knowledgeable about the technical areas that are being discussed in relation to, say, the healthcare and the science, to be able to make sure that they drill down and hold these people who are making decisions that are going to affect the lives of so many, so that we, the general public, who probably don't know as much and have been conditioned to expect this level of inquiry, is that something that has to be stepped up, as it were, So,
if you take a deep breath and pause, the thing that's called about freedom of expression. Not everybody express their feelings or their views in the same manner. That's what's happening. They do as they see fit. If you look at Trump, there's so much negativity about Trump. It is disgusting. If I turn on CNN, which I probably don't, it's something negative to try to bring Trump down. And as far as they are concerned, these people, the whole United States could sink once they bring Trump down out of the country. That's the only important thing that they see at this time. And I think it is very, very naive and certain and negative to have that these kind of reporters. I mean, how they can stay so long in these key positions to publicize all of this sort of stuff about Trump and other ones as well. What do you think?
Well, this is where I think, I hear what you're sharing. I think two things are apparent. One, as an individual, because we are certainly can only sort of be accountable and responsible, for our own actions. When we're looking at the media, that we should try to look at as many sources of information as possible and be as discerning as we can, so that we see something on one of the popular, perhaps more widely accessible platforms. Are we also willing to look at other ones that are not as widely known? And then what is it that we were told by our parents? Pick sense from nonsense. Very few of us would continue to eat something if it doesn't agree with us. So why would we subscribe to something that makes little or no sense? But I've always said this, and I'm hopeful that I'm saying it properly. The individual, the individual voter, the individual citizen needs to ensure that they become as proactively informed and engaged and involved in the happenings in their society, whether you're involved with the PT at your school, your church, or your little community group. You get registered to vote, to participate, you decide to be a candidate, you hear something being said by a political or business or even civic or ecclesiastical leader, and you go, but that doesn't make any sense, or that needs further, sort of clarification. That you are courageous enough, respectful enough, sufficiently motivated to question it, to say, wait a minute, that just doesn't seem to gel. Now, it could be that you've been misinformed all along, or it could be that you're the only one at that time. Now, are you prepared to have the courage and the conviction to do so? Very few of us probably aren't, because we get ostracized, we get beat down, we failed to get invited to the next thing or what have you. So we cover favor, and then we say, well, this, that, or the next thing. Societies can't perform and certainly can't progress if we have a room full of cupboards.
Yeah, I'm not going to be too much longer, but
that's okay, man.
just going back to Trump again, when he decided about cutting all the flights off from China. Oh my God! I mean, those Democrats and everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people were so negative about, what do you think you're doing? Oh, the only thing I see that he should have considered, which was better late than not at all, cutting them off a little earlier. And see what happened. Rightly, it was the right move what he done with cutting off China flights coming into the United States. But I don't think he'll be as lucky as the man with the old horse when he got old and he could hardly walk, and leading the horse about the old man and these young kids behind him, and said to the old man, "Why don't you just shoot that old mirror and get yourself a new one? That thing is worn out." Old man said, "Yes, young guy, you're so right." But he heard the old man said, "Take a good look at this horse. I don't have him for the good that he is now, but I keep him for the good he has been." Okay?
Yep.
I got to go, but listen, one thing I want to bring up to the front line right now, they said charity begins at home. As a young man, as a kid, I remember years gone by when the country of Nicaragua was our lifesaver. Okay? Nicaragua as a whole has been extremely generous and good to the Cayman Islands.
Strong connections between us and them, yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Yes, sir.
Really.
Yes, sir.
Remember, it was nothing for so many Caymanians to go to ranging and turtling and bringing these turtles back home and sending them to Key West and the Adams, because the gentleman that owned the Adams, his name was Mr. Adams as well. And the Captain Ali and Captain Chesley and others that was on top of this boat. You think I don't remember when we used to go, or not me, but others went to Nicaragua, exchanged cigarettes and all sorts for different things in Nicaragua?
Yeah.
We were very, very, very lucky to be on a good terms with Nicaragua, and I say this, the government is doing what they can for Nicaragua, but I think Caymanian as a whole, we should try our best to do what we can to make those people comfortable while they're here, make them feel at home as best as possible, and show them a good courtesy, good friendliness, do whatever we can for them while they're here.
Right.
So that's what I will be doing, whatever I can do for them. So I want to wish them all the best of luck and see what I can do for them as well. And I hope a lot of Caymanians will look into this, and especially the older ones, and remember the good that Nicaragua has been to the Cayman Islands. So,
yes, sir.
I want to thank you so much for listening to me, and have a pleasant afternoon, sir. Thank you.
And to you as well. And as we've seen, without question, there are a number in our community who have been reaching out in this specific instance to our brothers and sisters from Nicaragua who wanted to return and couldn't because the government over there decided that they'll close their borders. But we've seen that generosity going across all communities, and this is, I think, what we need to do in these times to find how we can draw closer. All right, the press briefing is scheduled for 3 p.m. That means we still got some time here for open line. We're going to pause, final break very quickly. We're going to go back when we can return to our phones and hear from our listeners. Stay tuned.
The public is advised that all public beaches will be closed throughout the Cayman Islands for a full 24-hour hard curfew from the 17th of April to 5 a.m. 1st of May 2020. This means persons are prohibited from entering on, walking, swimming, snorkeling, fishing, exercising, or any type of activity on any public beach during these times. Private owners with beach access are not permitted beyond the high water mark. Stay home to save lives, Cayman.
A public service announcement from Radio Cayman.
Rumors and misinformation will not help us tackle the coronavirus. Remember, you can check on www.gov.ky/coronavirus to see trusted and up-to-date guidance from the experts. This page is being continually updated and should become your first port of call for the facts. Please do your part to avoid scare tactics and fake news. This government is not complacent. We will continue to prepare tirelessly, make the necessary decisions required in the best interests of the health and safety of our people. You may feel worried, scared, or stressed about the serious nature of COVID-19, but we can and will overcome this public threat. Again, remember to cover your cough and sneezes, wash your hands often, and avoid close contact with persons, especially if they're showing signs of respiratory illness. Please stay safe, and may God continue to bless the Cayman Islands.
For the latest updates and information, please visit hsa.ky/public-health/coronavirus or gov.ky/coronavirus. The Cayman Islands government would like to remind the public that e-services are available for vehicle license renewal, trade and business licensing, police clearance, and other transactions. Skip the line and apply online. E-services are user-friendly, efficient, and most important, you can apply and pay from the comfort of your home. Visit eservices.gov.ky.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. Now, the press briefing, as you know, has been now rescheduled for 3 p.m. As you also know, the Legislative Assembly is in session today, so I guess they needed to get back and forth, and so the press briefing is at 3. Well, that means good, bad, or indifferent, depends on your perspective. Hey, we got a little time here to do a little extra, so let's go to the phones. Good afternoon and welcome. Thanks for calling.
Mr. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks, good afternoon to you, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, man. And end of the day, I would say, hey, the next elected member for, Owen Island or Barkas Key or South Sound Key. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well, thank you. And I have no intention of seeking public office. No, sir.
No, as I was trying to jest, I said Barkas Key, the South Sound Key, or Owen Island. So those are not constituencies yet.
I hear you.
It's good to hear from you, man, and thank you. I've always, hopefully sometimes not been too disrespectful, but I've always tried to champion. I always admire your gifting. You're amazing. So I hope you continue to find good ground.
Thank you, sir. This is Quincy Brown. I thank you for taking my call. The President of the United States, nobody is aggravating the President of the United States. The President of the United States is aggravating himself. I think he needs to go on vacation. He needs to take a few days off and let the Vice President, Mr. Mike Pence, do some of the press briefings. The President continues to gaffe himself. He needs to rely on his advisors and those professionals in healthcare. Let them do the talking, because it's no time for electioneering or campaigning, and this is an election year in the United States.
Well, I hear you, right? And I certainly won't, at this stage, on this particular forum right now, engage in critiquing him, partly because I'm not an American, I don't vote in their politics, but you know where you go with him, what would you have with the other guy? I mean, sometimes you just look at his face and you have to wonder,
I just think, Mr. Ebanks, that Mr. Trump would be wise to listen to the advice of his good friend in the United Kingdom, the man named Piers Morgan. Piers sent him some advice as a friend, all right? But that's not why I've called.
Yeah, man, I hear you.
That's not why I've called. I mean, we are in a worldwide pandemic, and elections could potentially be postponed. I remember after Hurricane Ivan in 2004, our general election got kicked forward to May of the following year. And as a result, we've had elections in May going forward. That is what it is. During a national crisis, the aftermath of a hurricane or a pandemic such as COVID-19, it's interesting if elections will still happen or not. I don't know. I can't see that far ahead. But I think as a tourism destination, we need to be preparing now for when we reopen. Our borders are closed now, but we rely heavily on tourism. And I want to put forward that there's a song written by Mr. Sean Hennings featuring myself called 7 Mile Beach.
Right.
It's a beautiful tourism promotional music video. And I'm hoping that DOT and the Ministry of Tourism will pick it up. And, of course, if you're going to use it, you can get in touch with Sean Hennings to work out the fees and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a beautifully produced tourism video that will promote us walking on 7 Mile Beach. What I want to say, though, before
but don't lose your train of thought, because I want to just say, as you mentioned, I'll commend you. This is the first time publicly to say to you, your rendition of Mr. Dalmeen's song with Sean, amazing. I didn't think anybody could do justice to that song, and you have. No.
Thank you. It was an honor to keep Mr. Dalmeen, the Caymanian boxer, Malay, songwriter, Calypsonian. We want to keep
parliamentarian, just a good man.
It was an honor to be given the opportunity to redo Cayman Moon, and I thank Radio Cayman for always supporting and promoting local Caymanian music. Something that a lot of the other private radio stations cannot say, because a lot of the other private radio stations, they just don't get it. They do not know what it means to promote Caymanian music, and I think it's a travesty. It's very sad.
But keep up now. You had a point to call, and I didn't want to put you off, so you were getting to that now. So
yeah, I'm getting to the point now, because you see, a man like me, I don't call often, and when I do, there's a myriad of topics I want to talk about, and no time is limited. So
no, man.
Get everything in.
There you go.
Why I've called is the waste or the destruction of food. There are 3 major supermarkets on Grand Cayman. We know the names of those 3 major supermarkets, yes? I don't have to call their names. And, of course, there are probably hundreds of little mini-marts in various districts. It's a shame, you see, those that offer hot delis. Under normal circumstances before this pandemic, I don't know what they're doing now, at the end of the night when they close at 11 o'clock, a lot of that food is thrown away. It's wasted. It's not about put up in the fridge and let's heat it up for tomorrow. No, because they cook fresh food every day. But I'm thinking to myself, look at the hungry people we got on our little island here, and they're going to be throwing away and wasting food. On that note, I'll close by saying that there is an organization in Grand Cayman, as there are many, but this particular one is called Cayman Arc, and they are seeking donations from corporate Cayman and the general public, because their work is immense. They do a lot of work, volunteering, going out and giving hot meals to the shut-ins, buying groceries for those who are in need. So I say that to say this. I want you to take a number. If there is anybody in Grand Cayman, I apologize, this service is not extended to Little Cayman and Cayman Brac. I'm hoping some philanthropists on the sister islands will do the same. But there is a gentleman by the name of Mr. Jim, and his number is 328-6187. That number again is 328-6187. If you or anybody that you know who finds themselves in the lower brackets of society, they are poor or impoverished. You got a young mother with 6 children and the papa not there, so they're suffering and need little groceries or a hot meal delivered. For some, it can be a one-time thing, and for some, they might need needing it once a week, groceries delivered. This is the number to call, 328-6187. The volunteer by the name of Mr. Jim is standing by to take your call to help the most needy in Cayman with food. That's all I have for today. COVID-19, stay home, Cayman Islands, and on to keep creating. That's what I do in here in isolation.
All right, Q. Always a pleasure to hear from you, man. Miss Susan, what do you think? One quick call. Remember the news, the press briefing is at 3. Let's take one final call. Why not? Hey, good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, I'm not going to take all the time that other people took. I just want to tell you something.
Only you.
Talking about these things, I'm worried. What I'm worried about is like if this thing, I don't know how long this thing going to last. They talk about a year and a half and all that kind of thing. But in a year and a half, the number of people that, like some of those Nicaraguans, my cousin Norman just talked about the Nicaraguans, how good they used to be to us. Same thing with Honduras and Cuba and places like that when we had nothing. But I would love to think that with all of these half-built apartments and stuff that are not going to be sold for the next 3 to 5 years, that when we find people who, like Honduras or Honduranians or someplace like that, that the owners of these places could give government make some kind of deal with government, where the government would pay them a stipend for whatever it is, because they're certainly making nothing now, and pay some money and get somebody house some of these people in them places, because we don't have we don't have those kinds of a thing around that people. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm worried. I'm really worried about what's happening, and then God forbid we get a hurricane. And people got to think ahead. And like I told you some time ago, Dwayne, that I'm not a prophet by any means, but I know sometimes God tells me things. And I said to you one day that last August, September, and I called the radio station. I said there would be a recession before April is out this year. Okay, remember that? All right. And I also say that if we don't stop and give God thanks and stop chasing money, because we have become so obsessed. Well, look what we're doing to the swamps. We're not going to get no rain this year. It's going to be one of the driest season ever, because we cut down all the mangroves and stuff like that, building homes for who? Foreign nationals who come here to buy them and paying an arm and a leg for them. And these greedy real estate agents, these developers, these people that do this, make them pay, because them houses going to sit there for the next 2 years, most of them. Okay? That's what I'm predicting now.
Well, listen,
God help us, my friend. I am so tired of seeing the love of money, what it does to people.
Yeah. Well, you keep in prayer, keep safe.
God is good, and tell Quincy don't knock Trump too badly, because he has some good ideas.
That's one tree I'm not going to shout on. All right, my friend. Okay, you take care, and always willing to listen and be nice to engage. Anybody has a desire to, get into meaningful discourse, well, let's do it. All right, the press briefing is at 3 p.m. Looking forward to that. I must say, I don't know about you, but I got to remind myself what day it is. So tomorrow's Thursday, right, Miss Susan? And that's the idea. So for tomorrow, Mr. Simon Cordray, one of the hosts of our Money Sense program, is going to join us. I'm looking forward to having his contribution. Got a thing scheduled for Friday. So hopefully the gentleman for Friday will be able to join us, because we can benefit for the immense intellect, knowledge, insight, expertise, and experience that we have right here on our shores. So I'm glad that each of you will prepare to listen and to contribute and critique and to find ways to make it, a positive, profound, impact in our society. Bob Marley says, none but ourselves can free our minds. So it's important that we recognize that, and as we go forward, whether you want to call him a prophet or otherwise, but I think, he was a man with great insight. Certainly enjoy his music to this day. Bob Marley also reminds us that, not until, what does it say? The color of a man's skin is no more important than the color of his eyes. What happens? Well, let's stop looking at each other and find out what color, and where they're from, and who they're from, how much money they got, and what job they're doing. If you don't understand the colloquialisms and you think it's a little bit too, of a parlance that is, isn't spoken in a certain way, too bad for you. I guess I'm going to transfer it and translate it to you. The idea is, as you move about, be civil. If you're wearing a uniform, whether you're contracted by the government as a civil servant and you're in one of the uniformed services, whether you're a private sector employee hired by a private sector company to police, their grounds, remember, the greatest exercise of power is restraint. You want to have respect, show respect, and I'm grateful for all of us who are doing our part to make it a safe place, washing our hands and being civil. But if I may share with you, what we probably heard our parents, we heard our teachers and others say, don't be afraid. In fact, more than ever, be courageous to think, to read, to analyze, to discern, to pick sense from nonsense, because not all that we hear, read, and see is actually what it is. So, with that, who knows what tomorrow will bring, but be thankful for today. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Fidelity Bank. For all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Also brought to you by Green.